Tired of old-school fishing? Maybe you should give sumo fishing a try. It's something invented by a pair of brothers at their cabin north of La Ronge. Curtis and Jeff Wagner jumped out of their boat one day with their fishing rods still in hand. When they started to sink, the pair got an idea. They put their legs through the armholes of their life jackets and zipped them up. All of a sudden, they were buoyant and were out of the water enough that they could still fish. They dubbed it sumo fishing, and Curtis Wagner tells us they catch fish all the time like this. But he admits it can be a little bit frightening to bring in a 30-pound northern pike when you're not in a boat.
And then, you'd be reeling these fish in, and then it was actually kind of intimidating just a little bit too. These northern pike, you're reeling them in, and these northern pike are coming at you with their big sharp teeth. So that's basically how it happened.
For those of us who aren't quite as adventurous, the province is holding its annual free fishing weekend this Saturday and Sunday. For 2 days, anyone can fish at any provincial lake without a license. Two brothers from Saskatoon have a new spin on fishing. They're doing it in the middle of a lake without a boat. Curtis and Jeff Wagner have a cabin on French Lake north of La Ronge. One hot day, they decided to jump out of the boat right into the water with their fishing rods, and that didn't quite work because they kept sinking. So the two brothers put their legs through the armholes of their life jackets, and as Curtis tells us, the art of sumo fishing was born.
And we took a cast, and then we realized, hey, it'd be easier if you were a little bit higher out of the water. So we decided to, what we did is we took our life jackets off and put them on like a diaper, hence the name sumo fishing. And then that, of course, having the life jacket lower on our bodies like that, it lifted us up out of the water more, and it was a bit easier to take part in sumo fishing.
The Wagner brothers say they caught fish the very first time they tried sumo fishing, but a word of caution, the Red Cross is advising potential sumo fishermen to keep safety in mind. It warns against wearing life jackets in ways that they aren't intended. But if you are going to give it a shot, the Red Cross says it's a good idea to wear a properly fitted and fastened life jacket on top. And that's the news from CBC Saskatchewan. For updates throughout the day, stay tuned to CBC Radio or go to our website at cbc.ca/sask.
Well, when most people go fishing, they usually do it from a boat or from shore. But two brothers from Saskatoon do something completely different. They call it sumo fishing. Curtis and Jeff Wagner are here to tell us all about it. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Now, tell us, what is sumo fishing?
Well, basically it started about 4 years ago. It was July 2005, and we went on a trip with our wives to our family cabin, which is on a remote lake in northern Saskatchewan. And one afternoon, we decided we were going to go fishing in a bay behind the island where our cabin is. And it was really hot, so Jeff and I decided to jump in the lake. And after we jumped in, the girls started just catching a pile of fish. So we asked them to throw us our rods in the lake. So they threw the rods at us, and we started taking casts and pulling in fish one after another. And but the only problem was our bodies were almost fully submerged, so it was actually really hard to fish.
Yeah, so that's when my wife Mandy threw us our life jackets and told us to wear them upside down like a diaper. We thought she was a little nuts when she suggested that, but anyways, we tried it out, and our bodies stayed way higher in the water, and she was right. It worked great. So that's when Kurt's wife was watching us do it, and she said, hey, you guys, we should call this sumo fishing, because when we're wearing the life jackets that way, it looks just like a sumo outfit. So,
So how often have you guys gone sumo fishing?
It's kind of turned into definitely an annual thing. You need just the perfect conditions, perfect weather conditions. There's a lot involved.
Like what?
Well, I guess it's got to be hot enough to swim, and in Saskatchewan, it seems like with the weather we get up here, it doesn't ever seem to cooperate. But
yeah, so it usually requires a really hot day to jump into a cold northern lake.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do have to ask, because of course you guys are using these life jackets. Do you just wear the one life jacket, or do you double up at all and use another one on the top?
But is that a safety? Is that a safety?
It is a safety question, because of course we've been hearing that when you're fishing, you should be wearing your life jackets, and so we need to ask about the safety.
We always recommend to people who are new to the sport, if they're not comfortable, they should probably wear a couple life jackets.
Yeah,
but,
of course. When we started off, we just did it with the one, but we would absolutely recommend. Yeah, you probably be a good idea to to wear one on the regular way as well. Yeah.
But is this a do as I say, not as I do? Do you guys actually wear two of them, or do you guys just wear the one?
We both find that it's a little constricting to wear both of them, so we just wear one.
Yeah, as we'll share with you. I mean, it is quite a challenging sport. So it is a little constricting to have two life jackets on. So
what's it like to be floating in the water? You've got your fishing rod. You catch a fish. Is it harder when you're reeling in your fish, or just a fish in general?
That's actually one of the reasons we really liked it. We found it was way more challenging, right? Because when you're casting or reeling, you got nothing really to brace yourself on, or nothing really to keep your balance with, and just trying to get the fish off the hook once you get it is a real challenge too. And when you release that fish, especially in the case of northern pike, it definitely leaves you feeling a little vulnerable when that fish is swimming away and you don't have control over them anymore. That's for sure.
Have you ever been taken for a ride by a really big fish?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's another reason we love it so much. It's a blast. I mean, I guess up at the lake, Jeff and I are kind of guys always trying to look to make things more fun, and we've caught a lot of fish. We've caught a lot of fish over the years, but through Sumo Fishing, we get the best of both worlds. We get to swim, we get to fish, and we also get to have a fish pull us around the lake, and it's like your own personal motor. And the best thing about it is it doesn't even pollute.
So there really is a bright side to all of this then.
Oh, definitely.
So how successful are you guys when you go fishing compared to when you're in the boat?
Well, I think it definitely, what you usually do is you find a good, you drive around in the boat, find a good spot, and then that's how you determine where you're going sumo fishing. So it's not that you necessarily catch more, it just makes it more fun, more sporting, more dangerous, and more challenging.
So when you guys go out, and you'd mentioned the first time you went out and had tried this, your wives were with you. What do they think of you guys doing this?
Well, speaking of our wives, I mean, the one of the greatest things about sumo fishing is how manly it is. Okay, I mean every male out there has this deep desire to impress their wives by doing something dangerous.
Definitely.
Right. I mean, pike, they're one of the most aggressive fish out there. They're regularly caught over 50 pounds. I mean, that's more than my son and daughter weigh together. They have hundreds of razor sharp teeth. So being able to do this, I personally think they're really impressed.
Well, you guys are taking on these little monsters, these northern pike, the way you make them sound.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure your wives are extremely impressed by you too in your sumo fishing. Have they ever joined you?
Not yet. We haven't been able to convince them, but they've watched.
Yeah. Like we said, it's a pretty intimidating thing being there in the water, where right with the fish as you're catching them, and so no, they haven't. Those pike can look pretty scary, right? When you're face to face with them in their own element, right in the water. So,
have you ever been pulled under?
Never caught one that big yet.
No, not that big yet.
Yeah. And the sumo diaper, of course, keeps us up out of the water. So
that's right.
So you've got some precautions there to defend against that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you guys posted this video on YouTube. So I've seen you guys in the water, bobbing, fishing. What kind of response have you gotten from people?
Well, it's really interesting because that video, just a few years ago, I uploaded it, and I just was interested how to upload a video onto YouTube, and that was just the first one I came across on my computer, and so I just uploaded it. And so I've never really told anyone it was on there, but there has been I'm sure there's been hundreds of views. Somehow people have found this video and watched it and responded to it. So,
do you think this is something that might ever catch on?
I think definitely anybody living in Saskatchewan and fishing needs some way to make it a little more interesting, a little more fun.
It's we think it's great.
Have you ever met anyone else that's tried it?
Yeah, we have when we bring up friends, that's kind of one of the highlights, one of the special things that we do up there. So if we feel like they're worthy, we'll definitely invite them to take part.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck. Have you guys gone out this summer?
I haven't yet. We just had a new baby, so I haven't headed up there yet. But
we've been up August. We're planning to be up there with all my brothers and my dad. So we'll definitely take part in some some sumo fishing at that time.
Okay, well, hopefully there's some warm weather on the way to help you guys out with that.
You bet.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Curtis and Jeff Wagner, who have done some sumo fishing in Saskatchewan. For those of you who want to head out to the lakes this weekend, it's free fishing weekend in Saskatchewan, so you won't need a license at any of the provincial lakes, and hopefully the weather's nice for you to get out there.